Hello, everybody. Back to another great edition of my Grue Rume Show. For the Grue Rume Show today, I got a very awesome guest, and he's an actor and now a filmmaker too. And his name is Peter Thurnwald, and he stars in this film called It's Our Time. And I'm really looking forward to talking to him about the film. And all the fans know him from XO Kitty, and we're going to talk all about It's Our Time and talk about Peter, about what like stuff he likes, music, and all that stuff. I am Rocco Cross. I am the host that stutters, as you could tell already, and I am the host of the Grue Rume Show. And my interview with Peter will be coming up very soon. This is my Grue Rume, and as always, my gruelings. Welcome to my nightmare. Uh, All right, buddy. Welcome to Grue, and thank you so much for coming on and being my guest. I appreciate it.
Thanks so much, Rocco. Yeah, feels great to be here.
Thank you. So the first question I want to start out asking you is typical question right off the bat is basically like what drew you to want to act? Like when did your passion start for acting?
Oh gosh, yeah. I never really wanted to do acting, actually, which is kind of
Really?
strange to say. Yeah, which is weird to say because now it's my career. I look when I was in my last year of school, so in year 12. So what would you say? Like, is that the what final year of school? Sophomore year?
Yeah.
What's that? I don't know. Is that right?
The
Senior year,
senior
something
year,
like that. Yeah.
yeah.
Um, I thought, why not? It's my last year of school. I'm gonna do a play, and so I ended up auditioning for this. There was this thing called like the senior play, which is on the Gold Coast. They basically enter a one act play into the Gold Coast Drama Festival, and then there's like judges, and then there's like people there and stuff. So I thought, why not? I'll just send it. And ended up really, really enjoying it, and basically got technically scouted by a casting director who was just an extras casting director at the time. And basically she said, "Hey, like, why don't you come on set and do some extras work because we need tall Asians?" And I was like, "Yep, all right, that sounds good. Money's good. Like, I enjoy it. Let's do it."
Yeah.
And so all through my first year of university, which I was doing a kind of like accelerated kind of PhD in physics, which I know sounds
Oh wow.
ridiculous at the time. Yeah, ridiculous. I know it was never going to happen. Not smart enough to do that. So basically, all through that time, I was spending all my hours doing acting, and that's kind of where the passion really started. And after being on a couple of big film sets, like I had the absolute privilege of being on Kong Skull Island. I was on Thor Ragnarok, a
Oh
couple
my
of other
God.
because I know, just crazy, like just such a amazing experience. Decided to audition for drama school and got in on my first try, and now we're here.
Yeah, definitely. Wow. That's really awesome.
Yeah, crazy. Like I just life is weird, isn't it?
Yeah, right, exactly. And I see you're even dabbling into making films too. Like you direct and you produce too. And how's the that kind of world going for you, like the world of working behind the lens now?
Yeah, because I don't know which one I enjoy more because there's something so satisfying about, seeing a project that you've written or you're directing kind of come together, and it's weirdly like it's more stressful but also less stressful because as an actor, kind of sometimes acting is a this weird balance of like losing control but staying in control, if that makes sense. It's like
Oh
controlled
yeah.
mayhem, right? Whereas filmmaking is still that, but it walks a much more skewed line to control, and that's my maybe that's just the way that I see things in filmmaking. But definitely working as a producer has really shone a light on a lot of different things. And when it even just comes down to in terms of like budgeting and
Yeah.
locations and things like that, because I guess I'm taking a more traditional path producing wise. Like I'm not kind of latching on as an actor to a job. I'm kind of like, getting the IP and getting it kind of boots on the ground, like running as fast as I can, kind of thing. So that going from that kind of the seed to a full grown tree
Hmm.
is like way more rewarding than kind of latching onto a project that's already in development or an idea that isn't mine organically. Um, and yeah, so I'm really enjoying it right now. I'm a little busy at the moment, so it's hard to find time to make more
Yeah.
films. But I'm still super young. I'm only 27, so I think as
Oh
as
yeah.
time goes on, yeah, as time goes on, I'll be directing more features and I'll be producing more features for sure.
Wow. Okay. All right. That's pretty cool. I like that. And and now to talk about the film that you're on the show for. And how did you wind up finding out about this film? It's it's our time and get cast as the lead too.
Yeah, it so basically it came across my desk like not that long before we started filming, and Joy reached out, and surprisingly, I'd never really heard of Joy, which is in the Australian film industry, especially if it's Asians in the film industry in Australia. Like,
Hmm.
there's just not a lot of people. So I was pretty like, oh my gosh, like there's this female director, and she's creating a film, and she wants me to be in it, and it was pretty cool. And like I've gotten a couple of stuff that's come through and hasn't really interested me, but this one was not to say that I'm a big time actor that's like declining work, but it's just like, sometimes the dates like don't line up and things. But this one in particular, I mean, it like I was just explaining, it's about film production and
Hmm.
struggling indie filmmakers in Australia. And to me, at the time when I was actually trying to get my feature off the ground, like this really was striking a nerve with me. And so I read the script. And Joy, the script was very tight, actually. It was really, really fantastic. And there wasn't much that we had to change going into
Oh.
production. Yeah, which again, and I think that's how we were able to make kind of like a pretty organic feeling film within such a short time frame, because I'm not sure if you're
Hmm.
aware, but we shot the film in 10 days. So
10
it
days.
was, yeah, it's
Oh
crazy,
my God.
insane.
Yeah.
Um, so the fact that we were able to get something that I'm pretty proud of in like acting wise, I think in 10 days, I think it's pretty phenomenal. And so then like kind of going more into the character of Shannon, I just started to feel he was me enough that I didn't have to reach, but which is a pun if you've watched the film. And
Yeah.
then terrible pun, sorry, terrible joke. No one laughed. And then and then the and then going into like also stepping onto the other side of the desk and having being that person that's actually denying the request for the film,
Hmm.
and what kind of getting into the psychology and psychology, the someone who they get into the job of becoming funding officer or a producer or one of the board members of Screen Australia. For us, it's Screen Australia. And I know that they've come through their own background of film, and I know they love film and they want films to be made,
Yeah.
but there's just not enough money. And
Oh,
I
okay.
think getting into that and walking the balancing beam of being harsh, being truthful, but also being empathetic, that was the one thing that I kind of had to wrap my head around a little bit.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, because I'm sure you know how it feels like going out for films. Like you don't get every role that you all audition for, and this is almost in the same boat because like she's trying to get her script made. She's trying to get funds for the script, and she's being told no, but
Yeah.
she's not taking no. Like she wants to turn that no into a yes, and that's how it is. Like when you're going out for like films, like you keep hearing no, but you keep or you're like, all right, what can I do to change that? What can I do to make them say yes?
Exactly. And I mean, it's just like life, you know. You look in the creative industry, like you're going to be turned down
Hmm.
probably on a more regular basis than someone who works a more conventional job, we could say. But I think failure really makes people work harder, and it's the only reason why anyone is ever successful, really. Because if things are easy, then it's not worth it. And that's the thing with making my own films. Like it's freaking hard, man. Making a film is
I'm
hard.
sure. I'm sure.
And so like that, and I'm not even close to mastering it. I've only made a couple
Hmm.
films, so like that is one thing that really struck like the correct note for me, especially in the lead character, Emilia Kong. Like I kind of knew where that character was coming from 100% because I think as
Oh,
creatives, everyone's been there.
yeah, definitely, definitely. And when we first see you, Shannon, Em Emily gets turned down, of course, to get funds for the script,
Yeah,
and then she wants to see your character face to face to try to smooth it out, and and Shannon turns her down to her face, and and then like she even has like the bribes and she's offering him food and
so silly.
it's like like she's really trying hard to get this script done and getting the funds for the script because she has to pay rent, and if she don't have the money for this for her rent she's going to get thrown out.
Yeah,
And how how did you like the whole interaction between Shannon and Emily?
yeah. This is like one I love. I do like talking about this scene because honestly, it's one of my most favorite scenes I've ever shot.
Oh, nice, nice.
And it's so funny that it was in this like kind of film that like was in the middle of two projects, and I was, you know, I just found the time to do it, and it was so like random because I didn't expect to be on a film at the time that I was shooting the film. So that was one of the first scenes that I think we shot together, me and Tiana, and it just went really smoothly. Like we had a couple of conversations before the actual scene. We didn't have that much rehearsal beforehand. There was only like kind of a few line changes. And the scene itself, I think, runs for about 8 minutes, 7, 8 minutes.
Think so,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, and you know, it's a long scene. It's about six, 7 pages, and
Oh, wow.
we basically, yeah, and we basically there wasn't any improv, by the way. Like we kind of found little bits here and there, but I think because of the time constraint we had, we only had a couple of takes. So I think
Hmm.
I ended up shooting, my coverage was maybe only 2 or 3 takes, and then hers was probably also 2 or 3 takes. And the only reason I think it worked was because Tiana is a freaking good actor. Like she is a practiced comedian. She just brings so much energy to the scene. She asks so many questions of you as an actor, whether like, you know, using some actory language, whether she's like jabbing at you or she's reeling back or she's really attacking this certain thing. She's offering so many gags as well
Hmm.
in the scene. Like it's just it makes it hard, not because there's not enough stuff, but because there's too much stuff, and you got to kind of be like, okay, what's the funniest thing here? Like, what can I grab onto, and what I don't want to also detract from the fact that this is like probably the most important scene in the film. So it was a balance between going too comedic and going too truthful,
Yeah.
and then just having that play that Shannon was like able to bring, that the comfortability he had in the space, you know. And I've talked about this in a couple of other interviews, but like for him being able to sit in that office, and that's his domain. That's
Yeah.
he owns that space, and
Yeah.
you know, and there is a degree of ego that you have to bring in when you are one of these people that's dealing with like hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars. So I think, and of course, it's it's always the random, like, one like film project with the smiley face that the person's going to come in and be like, I need my film made, and you're like, yeah, but like seriously, Emilia, like this film is shit, like you can't get this made. um and it's just I love the scene so much, and we were able to, I think, capture a real essence of it on the day.
Oh my God, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Like I love like he's turning down like the cup cupcakes and all, but then
Yeah.
he likes the muffins from Zoe.
Yes.
So I have to ask you, do you prefer the cupcakes or muffins?
Oh my gosh. I had a whole thing the other day. Someone was arguing to me that muffins were the same as cupcakes.
It's
Or
not.
cupcake. No, 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 no. Sorry. Cupcakes were the same as muffins, because apparently they're not, you know, I didn't even know what you'd say. They're not the same. Anyway, I'm a muffin guy through and through. I like the diversity of a good muffin.
Yeah.
I'll say one of my favorite snacks is a raspberry white chocolate muffin. So,
Ooh.
so look, cupcakes, I can't do it. The icing and all, no, not for me.
Yeah, yeah, they're really sweet, and some of them even have like the filling too, like the
Yeah, no, I can't do it.
yeah, yeah, no.
Can't do it.
Give me like a bran muffin, you know?
Just give me that. Even a breakfast muffin, man. I'm whatever, anything.
Definitely, yes. And there's like a lot of like twists and turns and laughs and riffs, and once all three of them are doing their thing, Shannon, Zoe, and Emily, and you three, like you have such a great chemistry on set. And how did you form that bond? Like how did you three form that like strong bond to make it
Oh,
show on set?
yeah, because yeah, and I think I mentioned this a couple of times already in the interview, but I just was so pleasantly surprised about how well all the leads really came off in the film. Like, because again, this is the shortest film constraint I've ever had, like in 10
Oh
days,
wow,
you
really?
know? I mean, it's just not common that you see a feature film being shot in that length of time. And of course, with that comes relationship for the cast, and relationship for the director and the DOP, and all of those things, because realistically, right, you can have a fantastic director, and the film can be good, but to
Yeah.
have a really good film, you need all of the working parts moving together. um and honestly, just it was just professionalism from Bianca and Tiana. Like, we knew exactly where the script was, we knew exactly what each character represented and needed. And it's just a joy working with actors who come prepared, ready, they're generous. They're also just lovely people. Like, that helps. And everyone was there and knew what we were doing. We knew we were in there, like, kind of getting down in the dirt and making a film, making an indie film. Like, and
Hmm.
I enjoy working on indie film much more than I do any other projects now. Like, I think I've done, in the last couple of years, I've maybe done three or four indies that are going to be coming out
Oh,
this year and
nice.
next year. So, as leading roles as well, and they are just my favorite projects because you get to meet some really hungry, amazing people, and people that, if they were ever on another film and they asked me to be a part of it, I would jump on it like that,
Oh
snap of
wow.
a finger. Yeah, just
Okay.
because it was such a good experience.
Wow, nice, nice.
Yeah.
And and like this is like along the lines of like a comedy, like uh a rom-com is what they're calling it. So are you are you a fan of those kind of films? Like do you watch them?
I don't watch them as much as I probably should, considering my majority of my career has been based around rom-com at this point. I think I've done 4 roles now as leading roles in rom-coms. So like I do enjoy the lightness that being on
Hmm.
set of a rom-com brings. Because I've worked on a couple of dramas. Very a couple, and it's definitely a different vibe.
Yeah.
Um, but to me, working on comedy is a massive part of what I watch and something that things that I want to be a part of for a long time coming. And I would like to kind of venture more into maybe something that's a little more like a dark comedy or something that
Okay.
has a little bit more high stakes
Yeah,
to it, I
definitely.
think, but still is managing to grab that kind of comedic element to it. Um, so they're kind of more the shows that I gravitate towards, shows like Barry and that kind of stuff. Like, yeah, so I mean, I don't even remember the last rom com I watched, to be honest. Gosh, that's probably not a good thing to say. Probably Crazy Rich Asians, actually. I didn't watch that too long ago.
All right, okay. Is is there a scene that you had the most fun shooting?
Mm, which one was the most fun? I still got to say that it's um the denial scene. I
Yeah,
think that's got to
definitely.
be. I think
That
that
was
still is the
good.
most fun. Yeah, I still think that's the most fun. Just because, again, like I said, it's just one of my favorite scenes that I've watched. That I've done. And I think it really turned out well. So I'll cop out and I'll say that.
Okay, okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, that's a really great scene because when you're watching the film, you're like, come on, just give her a break, really? Come,
just just one little break. Just that's all I'm
she needs
asking. Just one
money
little
for her
thing.
rent.
Just a little bit. Yeah, I know she needs rent money. What can she do? Yeah.
Exactly. And what did you love most about filming this film and being one of the leads for it?
Yeah. So let's sorry, something just popped up my phone. It totally like took me
Oh,
out to another.
it's all
Um,
good.
sorry about that. What was my? It was my favorite part of the whole experience. Is that it?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like what was like what did you love most about like filming this film and like being like one of the leads for it?
Yeah. Uh, just the freedom to kind of. I mean, look, all film sets and acting good gigs should feel free,
Hmm.
but I think as the size of the projects gets larger, I personally feel that the freedom and the constraints get tighter, which, well, constraints is the wrong word because I think constraints is more of like we don't have enough of X and Y. For example, we don't have enough money, we don't have enough time. And that's to me when like really good art is made, when you have really tight constraints and you have to be creative in order to make something that is still good and still portrays the story. Um, However, with the bigger productions, it just gets so grandiose, and I
Hmm.
just feel like I'm lost in a big machine. And that feeling is, look, it's fantastic for my career, and
Well,
I
yeah.
absolutely am very thankful that I'm a part of these big productions. Like, people dream of being a part of these things for their whole lives, and I've been able to kind of I've struck gold so young in my career.
Oh,
Um,
definitely.
yeah, but I think the generally my favorite thing about being on that set was just that Joy was really laid back about her directing style in a good way, not in a like just do whatever you want. It's definitely like she was specific with her notes. She knows the actor's process. She loved what we were doing and was very encouraging about what we were doing. Um, and then just feeling safe within the constraints of the scripts, and just being free. in a sense that, it's, I know this is going to sound really bad, but it's an indie film. Like, you get to experiment, you get to
Oh
try
yeah,
something different. And that to me is, the stakes are a little lower, which means that you
true,
can
true.
kind of push a little harder.
Oh no, yeah, definitely. Like you can't do if you like you how you film Kitty, like you can't do something like that on set for a show like Kitty.
Yeah, for sure. Because you dealing with a couple of writers, you're dealing with,
Hmm.
a bunch of producers, you're dealing with millions of dollars. It's yeah. To me, the risks, until I get more experience, like, I still feel a little bit kind of tight on those sets.
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
Yeah.
And did you come up with any kind of like song list for Shannon, like something Shannon would like, or music that you would listen to on set to get into the
Mm,
mood?
that's a good one. I am actually not a big, like, auditory person when it comes to preparation for a role.
Okay.
I'm a really big physical person. Like, a lot of people say, "Oh, I make a playlist." The first thing I do about a character is make a playlist. But to me, music is, for me, like, with me personally, really
Hmm.
something that I can use to fluctuate my internal mood, not the characters. And I
Yeah.
don't want to blend the two together. Um, and so usually for me, it's movement, like physicality is something that really helps. So what I usually do is I either develop a walk or I develop some gesture, I develop a speech pattern.
Oh.
And as soon as I get on set, the the set dressing usually dictates how I will act and move around,
Mhm.
especially if it's the first couple of times I've done the character. Um, and that's why doing Shannon's Office was so important, because
Yeah.
all of that stuff there, all of that, I'm always a big saying, like, hey, if I'm doing a scene, I need stuff. I need stuff to touch. Like, I'm a kinesthetic person. Um, and so, like, I think if there was, when I'm doing like theater and I've kind of got a bunch of rehearsal, like maybe, 3 weeks of rehearsal,
Hmm.
after about 2 weeks, then yes, I can probably start developing a music playlist to get into character.
Okay.
But on something that had, like, kind of short preparation,
True.
and not a lot of time on set, it's not really an exercise that I would do. But in saying that, I guess I just feel like Shannon, I just feel like Shannon listens to, like, upbeat Australian indie rock. That's
Okay.
just his vibe. That's just his vibe.
Okay.
Do I know any? No, but I think that's just what he listens to.
What
Yeah.
about you? What do you like listening to?
Oh gosh, I've been on the sad boy train. I listen to a lot of sad boy music right now.
Okay.
Jeremy Zucker and, like, Alexander 23, and I used to DJ, so I
Oh, really?
usually indulge in electronic music.
Nice.
But as
Nice.
I picked up singing and guitar about 2 3 years ago, when I started Exo Kitty, actually, and then I just started writing my own songs and things like that, and
Oh, wow.
that's, yeah, it's gone on the back burner a little bit. I had a full intention of releasing an album and everything, but it's just like, I thought it's more of a personal thing. Like I said, it's a personal thing, and I don't think I really want to, like, share any of that. So
Yeah.
it's just for me.
So we probably won't see you on stage at Coachella or any of those big mu music festivals, right?
Unless I'm DJing, probably not. Probably not. If anything, you'd see me busking in the street. Is probably
Yeah,
where you'd see me. Yeah.
nice. When you aren't on set and doing films, what do you like doing during your free time?
Oh man, I do. I'm such a hobbyist. I do so much stuff. Um, right now, I do a lot of climbing. So,
Oh, wow.
from actually which on ExoKitty, Songhon, who plays Minnow on the show, he's also
Yeah.
an avid climber. We went on a big outdoor climbing trip last year to the Blue Mountains in Australia, and I think we hopefully will go again this year. And so that's for me a really big passion of mine. I love the adrenaline that I get, especially like climbing outdoors and you know, being kind of up high. And I think it really puts a lot of stuff in perspective, because when you're up there, it really is life and death. Like
Well,
it's not
yeah.
actually, it's not like, oh no, like I need to, my day's so busy I can't like get to the gym. Oh, I'm having such a shit day today. Like, well, when you're up there, it's like, and you're freaking out. That's a shit day.
Yeah.
Um, and so yeah, that's like one of the biggest things that I do. I play a lot of poker, so that's one thing that
Oh.
I've been playing for a long time now. And one thing that I guess now that I'm gonna say in interviews, because I play it quite a lot, so it's definitely one of my more favorite pastimes. And I mean, that's just the tip of the iceberg. Golf, I am obsessed with golf. I play a lot of golf. And I'll just stop there, because otherwise I'll keep going forever. I'm trying to pick up surfing. Like I'm a hobbyist. I love outdoor stuff.
That is so awesome. I mean, especially with climbing, like the one thing is you can never look down when you're climbing.
Yeah, I actually don't look down. I didn't realize that the other day, and I have to have friends tell me to, like, hey man, like look out.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You're like you're like climbing a cool thing, man. Like you gotta look at the view. And
Definitely,
most of the time it
definitely.
just, yeah, because it's just one thing after the next. It's one move after the next, one foot in front of
Hmm.
the other. And like that is really, really cool. And like it just, there's a couple of times where I actually, like maybe 2 weeks ago, I was out climbing, and there was this really difficult move. And there's this point in climbing where it's called you're being strung out. So basically, your last point of protection is really far below your feet. So if you fall, like if this is the wall and this is me, right?
Hmm.
So my last point of protection is down here. You're going to fall like 4 or 5 meters. Like it's pretty far, and that's
Oh
never
my
a nice place to be in. Yeah. So it's like, and there's very high chance of injury and other things going wrong. And then you just have to kind of like take a deep breath and just commit, like, and just commit. And most of the times, it's actually way easier than you think it is. And that's like, because when you're up there and you feel like, oh my god, I'm gonna fall,
Yeah,
that move feels giant, and then you get there and you're like, oh, that was easy. And it's such a good analogy for life. Like it really is. And like that, and I think that is why I enjoy it so much.
wow. So you're definitely someone who likes like being outdoors and playing sports, and someone who you just can't like sit, like you have to be outside or active or playing sports, right?
I got to be doing something, whether that's like whether it's like really hardcore brain stuff, or like I didn't even like I play a lot of chess as well. Like chess is like,
Oh, nice.
I go to a chess club every Saturday, and like all this stuff. So yeah, like it's either like intense brain or intense physical, and there's no in between for me. Like I need to do one or the other.
Oh, that's awesome. What what kind of foods do you like to eat?
Food? Oh, I mean, it always internal struggle between Japanese and Korean food, because I love
Ooh, I
both.
love
Like
both. Yeah, it's
Japanese,
same.
yeah, Japanese, like I can eat more, like more often, but like Korean food is like my favorite, if that makes
Nice.
sense. So on
Yeah.
volume wise, Japanese is higher, but like on actual, like if I was gonna go out to a really delicious, like if I was like super hungry, like and I want to go out and have something like absolutely banging, like I'll probably go out and have Korean barbecue.
Oh my God, I love that. That's
Yeah.
like my favorite thing.
It's so good. I don't know, it's just meat, man. It's
I
just
know,
meat.
right?
It's just like that's it. So simple.
Oh, I went over the time a little bit. I know you were only supposed to be on here for a half hour.
No problem. No problems. I'm having a great time. So yeah.
Do I have time for one more question?
One more one more quick question. Yes.
Okay, sweet. It's basically like who's your favorite superhero and villain?
Ooh, superhero villain. Superhero villain. Oh, but that like in any context?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Okay. I think villain would have been Zuko in Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Ooh, it's a good one. It's a good one.
Um, and hero, I think I think it actually has to be Dr. Schultz in um Django Unchained.
I like
How
it. I
different
like
is
it.
that? How fucking
Yes.
different are those answers? Jesus Christ. Yeah. Yeah. Wow, that's wild. I haven't answered that question in forever.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, that is crazy. I think it's because I watched Django not that long ago and I love that character,
Yeah,
like the bounty
definitely.
hunter character.
Yeah.
And then Avatar: The Last Airbender is like top three favorite shows of all time.
All right. Okay.
And yeah, so I mean, I've been trying to get on the show for on the live action for a very long time. And it feels like I've been connected to so many different things Avatar related over the last couple of years, and it's just been so frustrating because I'm like, please.
Yeah,
Um,
just be on it now.
I know I'm just like, oh my gosh, and there was so like there was a time where I really thought I was gonna be playing like the older version of Aang in the new Avatar movie that they're gonna be
Yes.
releasing. I did all the callbacks for that and I did a bunch of auditions for it and like I just was like, oh man, if I can get this will be amazing. Didn't end up going my way. And it was kind of the same with the live action as well. Like I got called
Hmm.
back for so many roles. I think I was in for Sokka, and then I was in for Zuko, and then I was in for Jet.
Oh.
And it was just, but the problem is all of this was happening during Exo Kitty, and so it just like the timing
Oh.
just it could never work out, um, and then yeah, more recently with them shooting the second and third season of Avatar, like just being connected to a couple of roles in the upcoming season just wasn't meant to be.
Mhm.
And so yeah, just super frustrating. But like, and this is the kind of the only IP that I've ever wanted to be on. And so
Okay.
it'll happen. It'll happen. I'm confident something will
It's definitely
happen,
gonna
and
happen. It's
I
definitely gonna
hope so.
happen. You're putting it out there now. It's definitely gonna
It has
happen.
to happen. It has to happen. I'm simuluing it for Shang-Chi. That's what I'm doing.
There you go. Where could fans follow you at?
Yeah, definitely Instagram. Like that's kind of where I keep everything updated. They should follow me soon because ExoKitty is going back, and I can't say when, but it's going back very soon. And I love to keep live updates with how like the cast hanging out and stuff. So yeah, follow me there. That's the only place right now. I don't really do X or anything else, so that's where it's at.
It was very nice meeting you, man. Thanks so much for coming on.
No, thank you very much. No, it was a pleasure to be here.
Thank you, bud. Have have a good one and thank you again. This was fun.
No problems at all.